You're watching DX Recaps, the place where we break down movies fast, clear, and spoiler-packed. Whether you missed it, forgot it, or just want a quick refresh, we've got you covered. Let's get into the story. In modern-day Tokyo, Yuichi spends every day by his comatose son's side after someone pushed the boy off a rooftop. Yuichi's father, known as the Elder, visits too, but instead of comforting him, the Elder is harsh and cold, blaming Yuichi for not being there when his son needed him most. Sometime later, Yuichi quietly retrieves his gun, finally deciding it's time for revenge. Meanwhile, a very unlucky American mercenary wanders the city streets, chatting with his handler Maria on the phone. She gives him the codename Ladybug, a cruel pun on his constant bad luck. Ladybug's mission is simple enough: board the bullet train and steal a mysterious briefcase with a sticker on its handle. Originally, this job was meant for another mercenary named Carver, but Carver called in sick, so Ladybug has to do it instead. When Ladybug reaches the station, he accidentally bumps into Yuichi, causing Yuichi to drop his locker key and his ticket without noticing. Luckily, Ladybug knows how to pick locks, so he manages to open the locker anyway and gets the sleeping powder he ordered, though he refuses to take the gun. To get past security, Ladybug has to talk the conductor into letting him board with just the receipt, while Yuichi gets on without any trouble, following instructions from a note sent by the person who hurt his son. But instead of finding a dangerous thug in the seat, Yuichi finds an innocent-looking young girl. Confused, he hesitates, then the girl touches him. This is Prince, a young woman who plays the sweet, harmless schoolgirl to hide the fact that she's a manipulative criminal. Following Maria's voice in his earpiece, Ladybug locates the briefcase in the luggage rack at the back of the carriage. He has no idea it belongs to Tangerine and Lemon, two assassin brothers also on board. The sticker on the handle was Lemon's idea. He's obsessed with Thomas the Tank Engine and carries a sheet of Thomas stickers everywhere. The brothers aren't just protecting the briefcase, though. They've also kidnapped the son of White Death, the world's most feared mafia boss. White Death hired them to keep his reckless son safe and deliver him home, along with the ransom money inside the briefcase. Money owed by enemies who crossed White Death. Tangerine keeps getting calls from their handler to check in, but when Lemon double-checks the rack, he finds the briefcase gone. Lemon doesn't worry at first. He thinks keeping the son alive is the real priority. But Tangerine makes him listen to the whole story of who White Death really is. Tokyo's underworld was once ruled by Menegishi, brutal but loyal to his men. Then a former Russian mafia member joined Menegishi's clan, rose through the ranks, and became an advisor. The other advisors warned Menegishi not to trust him, but Menegishi didn't listen, and it cost him everything. The Russian betrayed him, wiped out Menegishi's entire clan in a single night, and took over. Now known as White Death, he rules the world's largest criminal empire but never leaves his compound after his wife died in a car crash. That's why he hired the brothers, trusted professionals from the infamous Bolivia job, to do what he wouldn't risk himself. When the brothers return to check on the son, they find disaster. The boy is dead, bleeding from his eyes. Yuichi wakes up to find Prince calmly watching him. She reveals she's rigged his gun to backfire, and she has a henchman in the hospital. If Yuichi kills her, her man will kill his son. She knows Yuichi works for White Death and delivered a briefcase to one of his associates 2 days ago. That's when she decided to follow it, believing it would lead her straight to White Death. She wants Yuichi to kill White Death for her. Meanwhile, Ladybug flees to another carriage, ready to get off at the next stop, until he finds the exit blocked by Wolf, a mercenary tied to a violent Mexican gang. Weeks ago, Wolf's wedding turned into a massacre when someone poisoned the drinks. Everyone died except Wolf, who spilled his wine by accident and survived. The corpses had the same bleeding eyes as White Death's son. Now Wolf is sure whoever did it is on this train, and he wants revenge. Wolf and Ladybug fight their way to the train's bar. Wolf even manages to stab Ladybug, but his phone takes the blade instead. After a brutal struggle, Wolf hurls his knife. Ladybug deflects it with the briefcase, and it bounces back into Wolf's chest, killing him. As the train nears the next stop, Tangerine and Lemon scramble to cover up the son's death, cleaning him up and putting goofy glasses on him. Lemon guards the exit, checking everyone leaving the train. Ladybug recognizes Lemon as the man who once tried to kill him on another job. So he avoids that exit and runs for another, only to run into the train's giant mascot, who tries to grab the briefcase. Ladybug punches the mascot and bolts, but he's too late. The doors close and the train speeds off again. Ladybug hides the briefcase back in the bar and calls Maria on Wolf's phone. She confirms that the wedding target was Wolf's boss. Wolf's wife and guests were just collateral damage. Ladybug had been there too, working undercover as a waiter. But he hadn't poisoned the wine. While Ladybug tries to plan his next move, Tangerine searches the train and almost spots him hiding in the luggage rack. He doesn't recognize Ladybug from their old job and keeps walking. Then Tangerine crosses paths with Prince and Yuichi. When he asks if they've seen the briefcase, Prince gives him Ladybug's description, having seen him run past earlier. Meanwhile, Lemon returns to his seat, reading Tangerine's text about Ladybug just as Ladybug sits right across from him. Ladybug tries to negotiate, offering to return the briefcase if Lemon lets him live. Lemon refuses. He thinks Ladybug killed the son, though Ladybug believes Lemon is accusing him of killing Wolf. Lemon, still stuck on his Thomas the Tank Engine metaphors, calls Ladybug his diesel and starts a fight. Ladybug knocks Lemon out before he can draw his gun, then spikes Lemon's water bottle with sleeping powder, hides the gun in the luggage rack, and stumbles onto the son's corpse, his eyes bleeding like Wolf's wedding victims. Tangerine finds Lemon passed out and wakes him up. Lemon's starting to think Ladybug didn't kill the son after all, but before they can figure it out, they get a call telling them to get off the train with the son and the briefcase at the next station. There's a group of Yakuza gangsters waiting, but the brothers smell a trap. Tangerine gets off alone and tells the gangsters he's too smart for a cheap setup. Lemon stays inside, pretending the son is alive by puppeteering his body to wave through the window. The Yakuza buy it, and Tangerine reboards the train. The brothers decide to split up to find Ladybug. Before they go, Tangerine hands Lemon his gun. Prince sneaks back to the son's seat, spits on his dead face, then returns to the bathroom where Yuichi has finally cracked open the briefcase. She doesn't care about the money. She plants a bomb inside, rigged to blow when White Death opens it. The same mechanism is in Yuichi's rigged gun, poetic justice, because everyone who tries to kill White Death ends up dying by their own weapon. Ladybug hides in another bathroom and calls Maria, who explains that a surgeon once killed mid-operation by the same bleeding eye poison was targeted by Hornet, another assassin. Ladybug realizes Hornet must be on the train too, but Tangerine uses a tracking app on Lemon's phone to find Ladybug in the bathroom. They fight brutally, only pausing when Tangerine answers a call from White Death's men. Get off the train with the briefcase at the next station, or everyone dies. Tangerine has no idea what to do next, but Ladybug quickly hatches a plan. Since White Death's henchmen don't know what Lemon looks like, Ladybug will pose as him. They grab a random briefcase and get off at the next station, but their plan unravels when the case accidentally pops open, revealing it's not the one with the ransom money. Before White Death's men can grab them, Ladybug and Tangerine scramble back onto the train just in time as it departs again. Meanwhile, Lemon is still searching for Ladybug while sipping his spiked water. He runs into Yuichi and Prince, who once again slips into her innocent act when he asks if she's seen anyone suspicious carrying a case. But Lemon catches her slip. She mentions a briefcase, even though he never used that word, instantly realizing she must be his diesel, the hidden threat. To make her talk, Lemon shoots Yuichi and drags him into a bathroom. He turns on Prince next, but the sleeping powder finally kicks in and he collapses. Seizing her chance, Prince steals Lemon's gun and shoots him too, then ties the bathroom door shut to trap both bodies inside. At the next stop, Ladybug tries to get off the train after telling Tangerine where the real briefcase is hidden, but Tangerine stops him. He still needs a scapegoat for the mess. Seeing no other way out, Ladybug kicks Tangerine off the train right before it pulls away, but Tangerine isn't done yet. He chases after the speeding train, leaps onto its tail, and smashes a window to climb back in. Ladybug, moving through the carriages, hears Yuichi's phone ringing. He picks it up. Yuichi's father, the elder, is calling. Ladybug tells him to use a tracking app and hangs up. Returning to the bar, Ladybug checks the briefcase where he left it and searches Wolf's body for clues. He finally figures it out. Hornet, the assassin responsible for the bleeding eye poison, is on the train, disguised inside the giant mascot costume all along. She killed the son and crashed Wolf's wedding by posing as the chef. Hornet ambushes Ladybug first, having ditched the mascot suit for a train attendant's uniform. A fierce fight erupts. She brags that she was promised the briefcase's fortune and stabs Ladybug with a poisoned needle. Acting fast, Ladybug snatches the needle and jabs her back. Hornet tries to take her antidote, but Ladybug swipes it and leaves her to die from her own poison. Meanwhile, Tangerine finds the locked bathroom and forces the door open. Inside he finds Lemon's body and Yuichi bleeding out. Grief-stricken, he places his necklace around Lemon's neck and grabs the gun from Yuichi's limp hand, determined to get revenge. He calls White Death directly, demanding he come to Kyoto himself instead of hiding like a coward. White Death, unfazed, reveals he's already cleared all civilians off the train. He bought every ticket himself, leaving only the mercenaries aboard. After hanging up, Tangerine crosses paths with Prince. She weeps and spins another fake story, and at first, Tangerine believes her, until he spots the diesel sticker Lemon had secretly slapped on her back before she shot him. Realizing she's been the mastermind all along, Tangerine raises his gun to shoot, but Ladybug arrives at the worst moment and falls for Prince's innocent tears. He tackles Tangerine to stop him, and during the struggle the gun goes off, killing Tangerine. As the train nears another stop, Ladybug promises to protect the helpless Prince. She pretends her bag is stuck and begs him not to leave her alone, ensuring he misses his chance to escape yet again. Just then, someone else boards. The Elder, who tracked Yuichi's phone. Recognizing Prince's voice from when she cut into his hospital call, he sits right across from her. Ladybug tries to reach for Prince's gun, but gets bitten by the loose snake instead. Panicking, he runs off to flush it down a bathroom toilet, and survives only thanks to Hornet's stolen antidote still in his system. Meanwhile, the Elder inspects Prince's bag and confirms she's the one who pushed his grandson off the roof. She smugly admits she needed Yuichi alive to kill White Death, and that hurting his son was the only way to drag him onto the train. She hints both Yuichi and his son are dead, but the Elder remains calm. He reveals his men have already killed Prince's henchmen at the hospital, leaving her with no leverage. Realizing she's lost the upper hand, Prince flees into another carriage as Ladybug returns to sit with the Elder. The Elder tells Ladybug his story. When he was young, he swore he'd protect his family at any cost. That's why he rose through the ranks under Menegishi's crime empire. He'd been one of the advisors who warned Menegishi about White Death but was ignored. When White Death took over, the Elder returned home to find his wife dead and his house in ruins, with only Yuichi left alive. He went underground, waiting for the right moment to get revenge without risking Yuichi, until fate brought White Death back into his path. Determined, the Elder and Ladybug find Yuichi still alive. The bullet missed his vital organs, and Lemon too. His bulletproof vest stopped Prince's shots. Lemon mourns his brother and swears revenge. The Elder calms him, reminding them they must stand together if they want any chance of surviving White Death's final move. Moments later, the train rolls into Kyoto, where White Death waits with his private army. Ladybug steps off with the briefcase, hoping to stall for time, but he's immediately grabbed by the henchmen, who argue over who gets to open it. Inside, White Death boards the train and finds Prince waiting for him. She's revealed to be his daughter, nicknamed Prince, because he always wanted a boy. She hated her spoiled brother for hogging all their father's love, and she's spent years building her own bloody reputation just to force White Death to see her. He takes the rigged gun from her but doesn't shoot, telling her he always saw her. She was just never part of his plan. Meanwhile, Lemon sneaks into the control room, trying to figure out how the train works. White Death confronts Ladybug with the briefcase and reveals the awful truth. He hired every assassin on the train, expecting them to wipe each other out. His wife's death wasn't an accident, it was an attempt on his life. He'd been away dealing with the Bolivia massacre that Tangerine and Lemon had carried out. His wife wouldn't have died if the gang's surgeon hadn't been poisoned by Hornet. His son got killed for getting mixed up again. Carver, not Ladybug, had been the target. Carver was the mercenary who caused the tragedy. Before Ladybug can explain the mix-up, White Death's men finally crack open the briefcase, triggering Prince's hidden bomb. Yuichi and the Elder fight off White Death's men, and Lemon manages to get the train moving again. The explosion knocks Ladybug, White Death, and his crew back inside as the train speeds off, forcing them all into a final brawl. The Elder duels White Death, nearly losing until Yuichi hurls a water bottle at White Death's face, giving the Elder a chance to finish him with his sword. Ladybug helps Lemon in the control room. Battling the last wave of henchmen, Lemon sacrifices himself to push the final gangster off the train, plunging into the river with him. Ladybug tries to stop the train by cutting wires, derailing it into downtown Kyoto. The Elder and Yuichi survive by bracing themselves inside, while Ladybug crashes safely into the mascot costume. White Death, miraculously alive, stumbles out, only to grab Prince's rigged gun and accidentally blow himself up. Just when the survivors think it's over, Prince reappears, ready to claim her father's throne, until she's suddenly flattened by a runaway truck loaded with tangerines. It turns out Lemon survived his river plunge, hijacked the tangerine truck, and used it to take revenge for Tangerine. As Yuichi and the Elder leave the chaos behind, Ladybug watches in disbelief as Maria pulls up in a sleek car to pick him up, only for a falling streetlight to immediately crush it. Another perfect strike of his legendary bad luck. And that's a wrap on today's recap. If you enjoyed the ride, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss a plot twist. Got a movie you want recapped? Drop it in the comments below. This is DX Recaps. See you in the next one.